Hello, everyone, and welcome to Match Monday. I'm your host, Steve Kaufmann, and I am being joined by one of my very good friends, Mr. Evan T Mack.
Yo, what's going on, man?
Thank you for joining me.
I appreciate this. I like this whole little thing that's going on here, man. Little Steve Kaufmann show, man. Listen, man, rags to riches, man. From pauper to prince, you know what I mean? From the slums all the way to the top, baby.
Okay, slums? What?
I mean, you know, you've worked your way up.
I have worked my way to a point
where you in the catbirds and you in control. This is your show. Your name's at the bottom of the thing, at the top of the mark. You know.
I'm on the marquee. I get you. We're here.
That's what I meant to say.
But you've been doing a lot of stuff here at AfterBuzz TV as it pertains to wrestling. I actually wrestling.
I like wrestling. Who started that, man? Who started saying? Is that a Southern thing?
That is a Southern thing.
I love it
because a lot of old school wrestling comes from like the Carney days, and today's match is kind of, I would say, rooted in the more Carney style of wrestling.
Yeah.
And it's what some would refer to as a joke match. Others would refer to as a cosplay, mud show, outlaw, I'm missing a word, whatever, all the Jim Cornettisms. You know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It is Toru Yano versus Colt Cabana.
Nice. Where do you stand on, like, quote-unquote joke matches? Where do you stand? Where's your position on that? Is there a place for it in wrestling? Do you feel that time has passed?
I think there's a place for it in wrestling. I do. Jim Cornette, I already mentioned him. I do think the Battle Royal at Double or Nothing was a joke match. And I think there's...
Yeah.
And, like, wrestling I see wrestling as movies in the sense that there's genres.
Right.
And I have a feeling that a joke match is a genre of movie, is a genre of wrestling.
That people like.
But it's you could have a whole league of that genre. You could have, like, if you're a big tent promotion, you would have multiple, to bring it back to Carney, big tent. But you would have multiple genres in one show.
Yeah. Where
I do agree with the criticism is that Adam Page goes on to become #1 contender for winning a joke match.
Right.
And your world title match isn't going to be a joke match.
Absolutely not.
So, like, I think when you cross-pollinate your genres like that is where you run into problems. But overall, I think, unlike Jim Cornette, who thinks it kills the business every time you possibly take a whiff at something funny and have someone selling something they shouldn't sell, and then invisible tag teams and whatever else that happens.
Like Orange Cassidy and stuff like that.
Yeah, like literally.
I think it's brilliant, but I think there's a place for it. But I don't think they would do it if there wasn't a place for it, if there wasn't a fan base. Like you said, a genre. There's a pocket of people that like cheesy horror movies. There's a pocket of people that like this type of movie. You know what I mean? And then there's a place for it. There's an audience for it.
I also think moving, like, with... Because a criticism that gets levied is if you're a mainstream promotion. If you're a mainstream promotion and someone's flipping through the channels and then they see this, would they stay?
That's fair.
My argument is they would.
That's fair.
Like, I think people are nuanced enough to know what they're like. If you're going to tune into wrestling on a Wednesday night on a mainstream network, you're going to see everything. Just like when you tune in to a movie review show. Right. They're not going to laugh off all the comedies. They're like, oh, we don't review comedies on Film Week. Like, no, we review all the movies that are out this week.
It's true. That's a good, well said.
I think we should push play. What do you know about Toru Yano heading into this?
Not as much as I should getting in to watch this match. No, I've watched a few matches, man. Like I said, I've watched them separately, just not together. So this should be very interesting as far as like how the bill goes.
Also,
legendary though.
Colt Cabana, some would call him the Podfather.
I've heard that.
Because like him and Steve Austin pretty early on in the invention of podcasting.
Yes. Got at the forefront, literally got ahead of the game.
Way ahead of the game, and also he was in the WWE as Scotty Goldman, and they didn't see what he saw, and he went into the open market and decided.
Dropping knowledge right now. See, I like this kind of stuff, though. I do like these kind of
Also,
matches.
I think Toru Yano is one of the greatest performers in pro wrestling.
And that's another thing I think they don't talk about. This does take skill, though. You know, this kind of like physical comedy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, see, this pandering to the crowd stuff, this takes a little bit of skill, though.
Also, I love just that, because that's Toru Yano's gimmick, is that he has a DVD and he keeps, like, at the beginning, he tries to sell you the DVD, and that's a holy shit.
A holy shit out the gate?
And then...
The disrespect.
And then
The roll up.
all right, could you imagine? Could you imagine if that was 3?
I'd have been like, then you set me up for like an amazing first reaction. But because I've never seen this match. You have not seen this match as well, right?
I've not. I made it about this far to make sure it's exactly what you think.
And it was like the roll happened.
It's exactly what I think Toru Yano and Colt Cabana would be.
You turned on the match and it was actually a legitimate like slobber knocker. Like they didn't do any jokes at all. It was like a real match.
And I think early in his career, like 2000, Toru Yano didn't become this kind of a jokester. I love how they both get their DVD back too. This whole thing is about the DVDs.
So on the flip side of what you were talking about earlier, when we're watching these guys go, do you think there still is a level of skill involved? Give me that money. Level of skill. Do you think there's a level of skill involved as far from a wrestling standpoint? Or do people not give them enough credit for being wrestling performers?
I do think Toru Yano was a Greco-Roman wrestler in 2001. I think Colt Cabana went through plenty of wrestling schools. Like if you look at his literal body, not even his body of work, his literal body, he's an athlete who is a wrestler. Correct. And bell to bell, they just do what they think wrestling is in the subsection, the genre of wrestling that they get into, that I enjoy.
Collar and elbow. Oh, come on. I was looking for a collar and elbow.
But say what you must about this kind of match. They were chanting "Holy shit" before the bell rang.
For the bell. That's. They
didn't lock up. They exchanged discs.
And as much as I love Jim Cornette and his prowess, man, he might be missing a mark on. I can tell you, it has a place. It has a place in wrestling.
Yeah. Well, whereas if you ask him on Twitter if it has a place in wrestling, he'll tell you. You're some cosplay wrestler, fuck, who's ruining my whole business.
No, I'm just like, but the thing, I'm not, listen, the ref has lost total control of this match already.
Of course,
I just want to point out, the ref has no control.
And then, but if wrestling at its base is to get this crowd in the palm of your hand.
Correct.
These two are nailing it.
And to me, that is what wrestling is at its base. Before you even do a collar and elbow or exchange DVDs, that the crowd's invested. And they're not going for a bathroom break, and they're not going to get a beer, and they're not talking to their friend.
And just,
nice.
And it's funny that everything,
the tables are turned. He said, listen, man, we try to talk about this, man. Hold on.
That's a weapon, though. Oh,
this is hilarious. This is completely new to me, by the way. I've never seen this. I'm glad I've never seen this.
Yano in New Japan, where they have more of a boxing style turnbuckle, will take off because there's not 3 turnbuckles, there's just 1 turnbuckle. And he'll take it off, and I don't recall the name, but there's a name when he pulls the turnbuckle off that has a name. So it was Yano and Moxley, which by the way I couldn't play that match, but I wanted to play. Yeah. That match was really cool.
This is Awesome Champ?
It's this is Awesome Champ.
Wow. You gotta be kidding me right now. The business.
Just
Ref,
I just want to point out.
Get a hold of this match, brother.
I just want to point out we're at least 3 minutes into this match, and if we're counting bumps, nobody's bumped yet.
Touche.
The bump is gonna have so much value when it actually.
That's very well said. Come on, pillar to post, brother. Pillar to post. This is class, man. This is great, man.
But wrestling can be anything.
I think that's what we're getting at here. It's all about what are you looking for when you're watching a wrestling match? What are you trying to get out of a wrestling match? I think, like I said, it's different moves, different times.
But
let go.
At the time of recording, we're only about a week away from when the G1 just finished.
Yeah.
And Toru Yano has been in the G1, I would say, every year since 2005.
Oh, that was
2006. And he's historically known as a spoiler in that tournament, a spoiler in general that people don't take him seriously enough. Someone like Jay White beat him pretty fast.
Right.
But someone like John Moxley wound up outside the ring, I think tied to a post or something, and then Yano got a count-out victory over John Moxley. I'm
a firm believer in guys like this. They can actually wrestle and still do this physical comedy.
Look, because
way more versatile.
Because earlier, probably in the night, but certainly in wrestling, it's been established that this is the equivalent to a chair shot. So the joke match just had the equivalent to 8 chair shots. And 0 bumps?
0 bumps.
I don't think there's been a bump yet. The bump count is at 0.
That's what I call safe wrestling, brother.
The roll-up count, there have been at least 4 roll-ups.
Come on, you know and I know if we did like a percentage, I think the roll-up has gotten more victories over any finishing move in the history of wrestling. Come on now, small package, it's not cradle, little regular roll-up, you already know.
What have you eliminated televised WWE in the last 20 years? Because I think they overused that.
That's a great counterpoint.
Because like I think a lot of
you said I got to eliminate 20 years of on-screen wrestling, though. Is it 20 years?
You're right.
The roll-up?
I'm saying there might be a sampling error.
What happened? Cedric got the roll-up on Drew McIntyre like yesterday. I'm like, he still got the roll-up on this Scottish man?
We could air this clip like 3 months from now, you'd still be correct.
Somebody's getting rolled up tonight on Raw, I guarantee you. The roll-up, brother.
Oh, but this is just...
Oh, ref, this is what you get. This is karma, man.
Also, everyone talks about ECW for Extreme.
Yeah.
There was one of my favorite spots. I want to say it's the Blue. I'm sure it's Blue Meanie. I forget. Like I think he does it with
way back there. Yeah.
I think he does it with everyone. That it's similar to what they're doing here. That they keep, instead of just doing the hip toss, because the hip toss is pretty basic. What they'll do is they'll tease the hip toss this way, that way, this way, that way.
Oh, come on, man.
Count it.
What? It's over.
That's
what you get for flagrant disrespect of a man's man stuff.
But the Blue Meanie, I remember specifically that the way this spot would go is false hip toss, false hip toss,
nice.
False hip toss on the referee, false hip toss, false hip toss, false hip toss on the referee, and you do it on the 3rd time, false hip toss, false hip toss. Referee hip tosses the heel.
Oh, that's brilliant.
It's just so brilliant.
I love that.
Oh, and now he's got the tape. The tape is not foreign object. Tape is completely allowed.
What in the hell is going on? Yeah, pepper him.
Get there. Whoa. Oh, nope. Oh, there it goes.
These Japanese guys are wily, man. These wrestlers are wily from the land of the rising sun.
So I remember, I think it was 2 years ago, you were in Japan.
Yes, man.
Did you actually get to see, any wrestling while you were out there?
No, we went to go see a sumo match, man, which was... Oh, the dub!
You can tell I did not see this.
I'm trying to take my trip down memory lane. Nah, it's all good. Colt with the dub.
Oh, my God. This was...
Was that technically a roll-up?
I think that was...
Did you see?
I think the roll-up. Also, bump count. Somebody can correct me in the comments, but I feel like the bump count is 0.
0 bump count.
I don't think unless you... I would argue the roll-up was kind of a bump because he was, like...
Oh, wait a minute now. He said, come on, wait a minute, man. Hold on. Come on, it's over. Please.
Shake. Handshake.
Oh, come on, man. It's classic.
I love... Nothing more than I love about that finish is that I'd watch this literal match again as a rematch.
So would I.
Over that just handshake. No. In Ring of Honor, like the not handshake is a spot.
Absolutely. That's a like I said, sign of disrespect.
But thank you for joining me here. This was a lot of fun.
I appreciate it, man. It was yeah, I didn't know what to expect. It was good though.
Thank you for coming on a ride with me.
I'm welcome to be on the ride, man. Listen, don't knock the roll up, Steve Kaufmann.
I'm not knocking the roll up. I'm just saying.
Crunch your numbers. Crunch the numbers. You're a technical guy. Let's find out what the highest percentage of a victory is. I bet you the roll up got it, man.
I think there are some people on Reddit that have already done this.
Somebody already. It's like the roll up actually is 99% success rate.
Oh, where can the people find you?
T Mack, Instagram, and Twitter.
And I'm Steve Kaufmann. You can find me on Twitter almost exclusively at Steve Kaufmann. On Twitter.
Look at that. Match Monday with Steve Kaufmann. Look at that. Look at that logo.
Matchmonday.com, and we'll see you next week.